guys, so I am 16 weeks and 4 days today, which is crazy. I feel like it's gone so fast. So apparently the baby is about 4.5 inches long and the size of an avocado, which is crazy because that sounds pretty big. I feel like that's huge. But this week I have been feeling pretty good. I feel a little bit tired around the night time, but besides that I'm not feeling too bad. Cravings have definitely set in this week. I didn't really get any cravings with my last two pregnancies, but this week I really was my first real experience with a craving. It was so funny. I was really craving chips and dip. You know, the onion dip that you make with the onion soup sachet and you mix it with the reduced cream. I really felt like that. So I sent Josh down at night time while I was watching one of my favourite programs. I was watching Grey's Anatomy. But anyway, I sent Josh down to go and get chips and dip, and he comes back with just chips. I'm like, where's the dip? And he said, I couldn't find it. I was so disappointed. I was like, why couldn't you have at least brought a different dip home? Have a backup plan. I was so upset. I didn't cry, but it felt like someone had died. I felt like I needed it. It was so bad that I almost got up and went down to the supermarket myself. I was so upset. I threw because he started laughing at me. He was like, are you kidding me? And I threw my phone at him and it fell apart, my battery and everything was on the floor, and he just thought it was absolutely hilarious. So definitely craving chips and dip this week. I got the dip today. Another thing is salads. I've really gone off fast foods. With my last two pregnancies, I really liked eating pies and stuff that you shouldn't eat too much of unless you want to gain a whole lot of weight. But this time round I'm definitely craving a lot of salads, really yummy salads with feta cheese and cherry tomatoes and capsicum and balsamic vinegar. So, just even thinking about it, it sounds so good. Which I think is a good thing. Maybe I won't gain so much weight this time round. That was another thing that I haven't been mentioning in my vlogs. With my previous two pregnancies, I started out at a much lower start weight. So with Blair and Ella, I started off at about 54 kilos and I ended up around the 70 kilo mark. This time round I started off at 61 kilos. So I started off at a heavier weight than I have at from previous pregnancies. But within those 16 weeks I have only gained 1 kilo. So I'm gaining weight a lot slower. By this point I had already gained nearly probably between 7 to 10 kilos, almost, not quite 10 kilos, with my previous two pregnancies by the 16-17 week mark. So 1 kilo is pretty awesome, but I have a feeling that it probably means I'll probably end up around still the 70 kilo mark, but because I started off at a heavier weight, I'll just get there a lot slower. I don't know, I'm predicting I'll still end up around the 70 kilo mark, but I suppose we'll find out, once I've had the baby. On an exciting note, I also think that I might, and I mean might, I'm not 100% sure, felt the baby move this week. I'm not sure. There were a couple of moments where I thought I felt that little flutter, when you feel like somebody's tickling your skin, but on the inside, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. I think that's what it was, but we'll soon find out. In the next coming weeks I will definitely let you guys know. But you know, as I've got other previous pregnancies to compare to. With Blair, I felt the baby at 18 weeks, and with Ella, because I had I think it's the anterior placenta, where the placenta's at the front, I think that's what it's called, I didn't actually feel her first movements until 21 weeks. So I think that's why I'm a bit skeptical. I'm like, oh, I haven't felt a baby move this early before, so I'm not sure. So I will let you guys know. Yeah, so definitely my body is also protesting against fatty foods. I was at work the other day and I was really wanting a chicken and avocado sandwich, but because it was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, all the good stuff was gone and all they had left was pies. So I got a butter chicken pie and I felt like absolute crap for the rest of the day, and I'm just like, yeah, my body doesn't want any junk food, and I feel like a bit like that if I ever eat anything like with a high fat content in it, you know, since I've been pregnant. So I think that's just my body telling me, no, you're not allowed that. My body doesn't want it. So another thing I don't think I have mentioned in any of my videos is that me and Josh have decided not to find out the sex of the baby this time round, which I'm really holding back the urge to find out. I found out with both Blair and Ella, but we decided because this is definitely our last baby, my last pregnancy, we already have one of each. We have the boy and the girl, so it's not as important, I don't think, to know this time round, and I'd really like, you know, to have that extra surprise of, you know, wondering what you're having, you know. But I will be honest though, when the 20-week scan comes around, I will be, you know, it'll take every bit of my willpower not to find out what we're having, because I hate surprises. Well, I love them, but I hate waiting for them, if you know what I mean. So because I never write notes, there are so many things I've forgotten. So another thing is I will be having another water birth. I have discussed it with my midwife. I've had 2 water births before, and my labours go very quickly. I had a 3-hour labour with my son and a 2-hour labour with my daughter. 2 hours is too quick to give birth. Like, I won't complain, like, yeah, it was really painful, but I was grateful to have it over and done with and not, you know, be in pain for hours and hours on end. And, you know, it just makes it easier to do it drug free, which I like and which I plan to do again. But my midwife said, because of previous experience with my labours, how I've cut back an hour with my last labour from my first, she said prepare to give birth at home, which makes me a little bit nervous. You know, it's not really a big deal. I've done both of my labours drug free before, but I think the main reason I want to go to the birthing centre to give birth is just because, you know, that's the only time I'm going to get with just the baby alone, for me and the baby to bond before I come home and am running around after 3 children. And, you know, let's face it, as soon as we come back home, you know, yeah, there's that little time where, you know, you have visitors all the time, and, you know, it's still a really special moment, but you have to get back to reality, back to housework, and, you know, just, you know, moving on with life with the new baby as well. So I would really like to give birth at the birthing centre, just for that reason. You know, that's my 1 or 2 nights that I will get with just me and the baby alone. And in some ways, I suppose it sounds strange, but it will be a little bit of a break, because it'll just be me and the baby. So, but the midwife has said, you know, if I give birth within an hour, you know, it's just not enough time for my brain to register that I'm actually in labour and actually get to the hospital, you know, before I give birth. She said if it happens too quickly, you know, I may just have to run the bath and do it in there. So I've already decided, first contraction, I'm heading straight to the birthing suite, you know, just to make sure that I have time. So I think that is all this week. I think I've said a lot, probably in a short space of time. Sorry if I'm talking so fast. I feel bad. I don't like watching 13 to 15 minute vlogs, so you know, I figure everyone else is like that, so I try and keep the time limit down. Alright, so I will show you my belly, and as you can see, my top button of my jeans are undone. I'm already not being able to put jeans and stuff up together, but so it is from the front, the side. I think I'm sorry if you could see my undies. I'm pretty round. The other side, yeah, big. Yeah. So that's my belly. But thank you for watching and see you later.